Sinfield.
It is Kevin Sinfield, but they'll be interchanging with the little fella Rob Barrow throughout this game, that is for sure. They've got to make sure that Sinfield is in a good position when it comes to the kicking game.
There is Kevin Sinfield. He starts the match underneath the boot of Justin Harris. Whoa, and they slip by Nathan McAvoy. Look at the race from Leeds. An awful start for Bradford. And this rogue pitch, well, it will come back to haunt some players before the end of this season.
Well, it's certainly done that on a few occasions over this weekend. Tremendous kick through. Justin Harris really should have gone with the hands rather than try to trap it a la football style. And they are under pressure straight away, though that's not bad, is it? They've reached the halfway line with the dropout.
And it's a wonderful chase by them as well now, led by Solomona and Thackeray. There's Sinfield at dummy half.
I mentioned it yesterday. I noticed a lot of players reluctant to catch the ball on the full. We've already talked about the roof and the roof being on of the stadium. Does it get lost in the lights when it's high up in the air? I'm not sure.
Bradford defending then. After the goal line dropout, there is Gareth Ellis. Oh, the ball was too low.
There's a shocking pass by Danny Maguire.
Referee says play on. This is Clinton Tupy. That's tackle number 4. A fumble and a little look at the referee from Danny Maguire. He finds Jamie Thackeray.
Well, I think they were very fortunate there. Look, there being fingertips on there as a knock on. Got away with it. This should be a good kick.
Little dab through by Danny Maguire. And he got to it eventually, Michael Platt. 12 tries. Paul Welland's got 2 here yesterday to overtake him at the top of the Super League try-scoring chart, the Bradford fullback.
They're slipping and sliding all over the place at Bradford, and one wonders whether they've gone for the wrong option stud-wise. We saw them preparing for this game, and they were making the decision.
Matt Cook on the ball here. This is his first appearance of the season in the second row.
Pretty solid defence by Leeds. They really mean business. We saw Warrington. They started exceptionally well too. They bossed the game. Pretty good kick as well.
Could be the first 40-20 of Millennium Magic here. It's Paul Deacon. And it is head and feet to Bradford. The first 40-20 we've seen this weekend.
Super kick, wasn't it? And he was put under pressure. They hunted him down. He didn't get the right follow-through, but he's still got the power. It's amazing. Paul Deacon is not the largest man in Super League by a long shot, but the ability to get the ball away was superb.
This is Langley. Langley driving. Bro goes without the ball, and it was stolen by Bradford. And Steve McNamara wants the 2 points kicking. Terry Newton was very anxious to get on with it, wasn't he?
He said, let's get away with it. They're rattled. My shoe, most hookers do get rattled at times. They want to get on with it. They don't like to see a game stopped. They want to get themselves involved. And what about this fella, Jamie Langley? He's been one of the form forwards throughout Super League this year.
What a physical specimen he is there. But just going back to the kicking, and you were talking about Paul Deacon and his technique. It's a little bit like golf. It doesn't necessarily follow that the harder you try to hit it, the further the distance. It's all about hitting that sweet spot.
Physical specimen. You could have done with his trainer when you played, couldn't you?
Deacon from bang in front of the sticks, and Bradford Bulls have the early advantage here. They had the shaky start, but Paul Deacon's boot giving them the 40-20 advantage. Then the penalty for a 2-man steal in the tackle. And Paul Deacon, following coach's instructions, slots over the first points of the match.
And they'll be very happy with that. Remember, it was a shaky start by the Bulls. They messed up the kickoff, but they've settled down quickly. Harris makes no mistake this time, gets the hands to it.
Justin Harris, of course, playing against his former club, and he's got more Millennium Stadium experience than anyone, having played here a number of times for the Welsh Rugby Union national side. Van Ganar plays the ball to Newton.
I'm not so sure, Eddie, that he was all that successful, though.
Newton is another former Leeds Rhino. Plays the ball to Michael Platt. There's Deacon. They spread it wide to Solomona, taking on Sinfield. Solomona. Well, we talk about physical specimens, and Solomona is quite something as well.
Without doubt, one of the best offloaders in the game. It's obviously Tony Smith-Ploy to make sure that Kevin Sinfield will just ghost him, and they've got the beautiful pass away.
And Solomona with a kick to the corner. It's too long, looking for Michael Platt. But they've come back for the penalty here. The referee's given Bradford a penalty.
Well, did he realise that they were going to give a penalty from the official, Steve Ganson? The Newton offload was superb. He had men on the inside. It was not the best option, but Bradford have got the rub of the green in the meat, because Steve Ganson had already decided they'll pump this into the corner. More pressure, turning the tourniquet against Leeds.
Beautiful break from Terry Newton, though, wasn't it?
Terry Newton's one of those players that he just wants to get the quick play the ball, and he's one of the most skillful hookers that are going around the game. And you're talking to some of the Bradford players and Terry Newton, and they're really up for this game. They're really confident, and they've started like that.
Good drive forward from Andy Lynch, back to his best after breaking that ankle last year. And there's a big hole there, and Platt is straight through it.
Oh, went
that
close.
Was very close to the whitewash, but Steve Ganson was close to it. And Michael Platt, well, he's hot on the heels of Paul Wellens at the top of the try-scoring charts. What a start for Steve McNamara. What a start for Michael Platt. What a start for the Bradford Bulls.
Superb work on that short blind side. It was a set pattern. The fullback knew exactly what was going to happen. Quick hands. They absolutely drifted this Leeds defence away. And the fullback, this is where Deacon got took out by Senior, and that's the reason why Ganson awarded the penalty. Look at the dummy runner from Solomona, and then back on the inside, James Evans. Boy, he went close to the whitewash, but it didn't matter. What a set pattern. Not one dummy runner, but two. Solomona and Evans, superb.
That's the kicker's view of this conversion attempt by Paul Deacon. A 9-degree target angle. One of the best kickers in the game, and the best kicker in Bradford's history, this fellow. And that's the reason why. And Bradford Bulls are ahead by 8 points to 0.
First one, Solomona. Second is Evans, and watch the fullback go into an enormous gap. Keith Senior just drifted out of his position. Not a finger laid on the man.
Well, Bradford have won 4 in a row since losing on the bell against Leeds at Odsal over Easter. They've averaged 39 points a game in that run. And I get the feeling early that some of the disruption that Leeds have suffered with changes enforced on them by injury might come back to haunt them, Barry McDermott.
Yeah, it's true. You know, you try to train with the team that you're going to play with at the start of the week and hopefully get some continuity, but that hasn't happened for Leeds. They've had Ryan Bailey pull out this morning, and Ashley Gibson failed a late fitness test, so it's a chance for young players, and Ryan Hall, I'm really looking forward to seeing him, a former ultra-rated player that's been in the under-21 system at Leeds, and he's going to grab his big chance. He's a big strapping lad.
There's another of the very excellent youngsters, Lee Smith, 20 years of age. 20 years of age, but this is his 40th appearance for the Rhinos. Balls come out of the scrum. Here is Keith Senior, brushes off Langley, can't get away from Easton Harris, and Bradford harassing him. That's Matt Cook in there as well. Good defence from Bradford.
Well, they know they made a big error there. David Solomona tried to offload in a very tight position. There was no chance for James Evans to take it.
Sinfield, the dummy half. He is operating at hooker, obviously. This is Maguire now. Good feet from Maguire. Gets the ball away brilliantly to Senior. He finds Webb. And this is Ian Kirk. 28 metres away from the Bradford line. Gareth Ellis. In excellent form this year, Gareth Ellis.
We're just going to say that, Eddie. He's been really strong for Leeds, and we keep talking about James Roby as a Man of Steel contender. I think Gareth Ellis is right there up with him.
This is Ian Kirk on the drive. That's the last tackle, says referee Steve Ganson. A little cross, angled dab, picked up by Platt, and Michael Platt was almost away. It was a very important grab by Jamie Thackeray.
Was it ever? It was try time.
This is Matt Cook again.
Not the best effort there from Sinfield. It was a poor kick, went on a solo run.
Barry, have a word with Jamie Thackeray, will you, about the haircut, for goodness sake.
The hairstyle, he means business, doesn't he? He looks like Mr. T.
And again, David Solomona trying to force a pass. Whether they're the tactics that have been given out from the coach, Steve McNamara, we know the quality of Solomona, but that is 2 mistakes deep in their own half.
Good offload there. This is Brent Webb, another good offload. They spread it wide here and find Jamie Jones-Buchanan. This now Clinton Tupy, and Tupy is grounded by Easton Harris. Quick play the ball. Maguire, they're coming down this left side again. Maguire gets out of jail and gives it to Rob Burrow. Burrow low to the ground, hauled down by Ben Harris. That's tackle number 4, says referee Steve Ganson. Fires the pass wide. Oh, what a ball from Donald! What a pass to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. What a try from the Rhinos. Oh, Scott Donald, the pass of the weekend. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, highly rated this fellow by Tony Smith. He must be a contender for Great Britain in 2007. And Jamie Jones-Buchanan has got the Leeds Rhinos on the scoreboard, but it all came about courtesy of the pass, the magnificent pass there from Donald.
Never mind that, what about the take as well? He was dipping down, and before he hits terra firma, the balance of the man, he knew exactly what was going on. Outstanding. This is sheer quality. Jamie Jones-Buchanan would have enjoyed that, but none more so than the Leeds fans. They were under the cosh at the moment, and Steve McNamara has got to get the message out to his big second rower, David Solomona, that you cannot just keep offloading at will. There are times when you have to drive forward and kick for field position. They've offloaded and given Leeds the chance, and they have taken it superbly.
The referee has just stopped Kevin Sinfield from taking the kick at goal here, because as he was lining up, the Bradford water carrier walked in front of the post.
Don't make an hard night for me, mate.
Martin Clausen, that actually, Eddie, son of the former son of Terry Clausen, who I was going to say one of his teams, but he had a few teams, did Terry?
I think Steve Ganson was going to tell him off until he seen the size of him.
Kevin Sinfield then now can line this kick up, and he will pop it over the top, no problem. It's 8 points to 6 to the Bradford Bulls.
If you create the overlap, and that's exactly what they've done. Look at that, there's 2-on-1, and soon as Donald slips the ball inside, Bradford were very slow to fill in. 3 men in a very tight position. You've got to work as a unit, and they relaxed.
Bradford 8, Leeds 6.
Remarkable.
For Leeds.
Remarkable skill shown by Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and the size of his skill is only surpassed by the size of his head.
Pretty strong challenges there, and Thackeray has felt that is for sure. We've already made mention, Eddie, in regards to his new hairstyle. Maybe a bit of hair on top would have softened the blow. He's in a lot of trouble.
Here's Clinton Tupy again, offloads to Kevin Sinfield. He finds Gareth Ellis. Let's get down to Bill.
Eddie, you've mentioned the absence of Bailey, Diskin and Ashley Gibson. The word is out, Ryan Bailey an ankle problem, Matt Diskin illness, Ashley Gibson knee trouble.
Look at Maguire. Support there from Brent Webb. A wonderful try from Leeds. Webb over under the sticks. Well, they might be disrupted by injury, but Leeds are answering the critics, and I was one of them a few minutes ago, having the temerity to suggest they might be disrupted by all the comings and goings in the past 24 hours or so. But Danny Maguire just danced and cheeked his way through the Bradford line, and Webb was following up, and that's a great try.
Well, they were playing the music just a few moments ago, but this guy didn't need it. He had the dancing steps. It was absolutely superb. And this is the reason why Leeds forked out big money for the New Zealander, the fullback Brent Webb. He reads the game so well. They looked as though they were hanging back for the kick. Watch Webb. Give it to me now. Pull the fullback in. Outstanding. 2 tries in the space of 2 minutes that are breathtaking.
Brent Webb, that's his 10th of the season. Kevin Sinfield has a much easier job and a huge target here. Doesn't miss those. They were 8-0 down. The Rhinos, they now lead 12 points to 8.
There he goes, look at this. You've got to fill in. They clear. You can't leave this guy any gap. They are just falling asleep at the play the ball area, but the positional sense from the fullback. Oh, breathtaking. Hold on to your seats. This is going to be one heck of a ride.
Well, the referee has just called Terry Newton out with his captain, Paul Deacon, and he's put an incident on report, the shot that Terry Newton put in on Jamie Thackeray. And the Rugby League's disciplinary committee will take a look at that and see whether he has a case to answer. Certainly Thackeray was left holding his head, and this is what they will see.
And I think everyone will see. We mentioned in the commentary that it was a hefty tackle. And from this, I think you may find he'll be catching a bus or a taxi to Leeds.
He'll certainly know the way.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan again for the Leeds Rhinos. In mitigation for Terry Newton, was Thackeray slipping a bit, and did he actually catch him with the shoulder?
Well, he's definitely caught him, but Terry Newton's one of those plays that he was, I'm not defending words he's out in his sleep. When he crosses that white line, he doesn't take any prisoners. Sometimes he does cross that line.
Well, it's something that the game's disciplinary people will be looking at.
Well, it's a problem, Eddie, because as we've already mentioned, he is a firebrand, we know that. He has got himself into a lot of trouble over the years, and I think it may affect his game somewhat.
And I'll tell you something, if Terry Newton doesn't know the way to the disciplinary committee, Barry McDermott will give him all the directions he needs. Great ball from Deacon to Langley. Oh, there's a Leeds player flat out.
Can't see who it is at the moment.
It's Gareth Ellis. Another kick over the top from Solomona. Big Leslie. Good chasing back and harassing by Lee Smith. Gareth Ellis has a problem.
This is a huge blow if Ellis has to leave the field of play. He has been one of the stars. Do you know, a fit Leslie Vainikolo would have swallowed that and scored it. We know he's not 100%.
Bradford moved into the transfer market this week and signed Tami Tupu from the Brisbane Broncos, and there is some suggestion that it marks the end of the career at Bradford of Leslie Vainikolo.
A lot of players will be happy that Leslie's going out of the game with his big devastating runs it does. You watch Jamie Jones-Buchanan, he's a player that always impresses me. He leads the ball upfield, he goes the first back to retrieve the ball, to take it forward, and his kick chase is unbelievable.
He's just an unsung hero in the Leeds side, and the Leeds players speak really highly of Jamie Jones-Buchanan, and he's the type of guy that just is at the front of all the dirty jobs and jobs that limelight players don't like to do.
Michael Platt will run the ball out as the Leeds Rhinos lead here by 12 points to 8. We have about 21 and a half minutes of this first half remaining. Let's go down to Bill. I believe, Bill, you've news of some news involving Salford City Reds.
Well, that's right, Eddie, on the way back round here from the commentary position. Came across a very disconsolate Carl Harrison in the bowels of the stadium, walking on his own, his side just hammered out here. He's got injury problems, he's got 2 more now. I understand Jordan Turner might be on his way to hospital. He got a knock on the head, and they might be taking him, they haven't decided yet, they might be taking him for a checkup. And Ian Sibbett, who we saw come off as well, has picked up a hamstring injury. As if he didn't have enough problems already, Carl Harrison and the Salford City Reds have got another 2.
Never rains, but it pours when you're at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle for the Reds, that is for sure, and it's also going to be a struggle for this Bradford side if they don't get this defence sorted out. You can see that out wide they're not moving. Oh,
Lee Smith
big
has
mistake.
lost that. The pitch again takes its toll.
He's hurt himself there and all, Lee Smith. He's limping back into the line of defence.
Play on, says the referee. That was a little contentious call. Leeds were appealing, and there's Lee Smith limping. Leeds were appealing that tackle was completed. Here is Iestyn Harris, fires the ball to Deacon. Over the top it goes. That is James Evans. This is Leslie Vainicolo, confronted by a host of Leeds Rhinos. And Vainicolo!
He's gone for it.
Well, that was a knock-on, surely, wasn't it, by the defender as he pushed that ball back?
Well, it appears that way.
Senior surely got fingertips to that.
Well, he didn't want to go to the screen.
If Leslie Vainicolo had had his thumb round that ball, he could have planted that down.
Great defence from the Rhinos. Scrambling defence as Leslie looked to score his 141st try in Bradford's colours. He has a remarkable record. Here goes Thackeray. Great play. Ellis looks as though he shrugged off that injury. He hands it on to Maguire. Here is Senior. Senior puts it wide. And Lee Smith dances away. Gets the ball in field to Maguire. Another try on the way here for Leeds. Danny Maguire, that's a fantastic try. But should the referee... He wants to check the touchline. He can't go all the way back to the possible knock-on.
No, he'll go
the
the
try
touch
line, the other end.
He's got to see whether he's gone in touch.
Oh.
Yes, this is no try.
The touch judge is right there. Why isn't he indicated that he's in touch?
Well, I think maybe the body of Vainicolo perhaps just obscured his view. But either way, it's no try. That is for sure. It did. But the way, you know that this ground is making people slip and slide. Here's confirmation of what we've already said. But on a pitch like this, if you can get your footing from this fella, Danny Maguire, we've seen him do that beautiful step that created the try for Webb, is that if a big forward is trying to just turn, he'll just slip away. So unlucky.
The big Bradford forwards are that heavy, Steve-O, that I don't think they're going to need slipping. They don't, whatever boots they're wearing, or whatever studs they're wearing, they're that big, they won't slip over.
Well, Danny Maguire denied by the fact that Lee Smith's heel just dropped on the touchline on the far side. That means he was deemed to be out of play.
Good tactics, though, isn't it, from Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, because he realises because he's without the likes of Bailey and Diskin to run a very tight forward formation, that he's got to try to beat this Bradford side out wide, and they're jinking, they're offloading, they're trying to get it out wide to the three-quarters, and that's the way they're going to beat Bradford tonight, if that's the case.
Matt Cook will play the ball to Terry Newton. Thackeray was
hunting the ball. Great line speed there, fantastic line speed from Jamie Thackeray.
Newton to Iestyn Harris, drops the shoulder, goes up the middle. Playing so well just at the moment is Iestyn Harris, and manages to offload to Terry Newton. Here is Michael Platt again, and Platt, he gets there. He gets there in the end, his second try of the night. The second try for Bradford. And Michael Platt says, whatever you can do, Paul Wellens, I can do.
What about the offload from Iestyn Harris? It looked as though the play had been stopped. Iestyn Harris offloads to Newton, and Platt, he had so many options. All he had to do was run straight. Here's Harris throwing the dummy. They really should have put him to ground. Thank you very much indeed. All he had to do was run straight. He said, no, I'll make it a little bit more difficult. But at least he went closer to the post. That will make the conversion easy. But as Eddie has already mentioned, this guy, Iestyn Harris, is back to his best. And so this fella, he knows how to score a try.
He certainly does, because that's number 14 for the season now for Michael Platt. He is now level with Paul Wellens. And Deacon adds the extras, 14-12 at the Millennium Stadium. Bradford over Leeds.
You see, you never put your body back to the man playing the football. They thought the tackle was complete. It wasn't. And by the time they turned around, Newton was sending the full-back careering towards the try line. You have, at all times, you must be aware. Never turn your back to the opposition.
Hasn't he been a revelation, Michael Platt? They're getting released from Salford, going to Castleford last year, and he's come on, been coached by Steve McNamara, who's got an awful lot of time and done a great job with him.
Well, it's a remarkable turnaround. It's a 12-point turn, actually, for Bradford, because there was the foot in touch, which meant that Danny Maguire's try was denied, and in the blink of an eye, Bradford up the other end, and they post a try themselves.
Well,
such is life.
At this pace, the speed of Super League from these two teams so far, you can't afford to just relax. You can't do it.
Newton with the left-footed kick, and Brent Webb positioned perfectly. Here comes the Leeds full-back. Oh, he's on his way. Oh, it's been picked up. Well, oh, there's nobody at home. Here goes Leslie. Bump, bang, bang, crash. No try, I don't think. He's held up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or has he got it down?
I don't think he's got it down. But what about the offside? There were 4 players coming back. There was never any doubt that they were offside. It was a quick play, the ball.
Just go away, I'll check what I want to check.
It's hard to see from there. I don't think he has. Senior is hanging on. I don't think it's down.
That's great defence.
It is wonderful, but surely the official, because by the time that Leslie picked up the ball from the dummy half position, no one of those people were in an onside position.
It's great that, Steve. But look at the Kevin Sinfield and Keith Senior are gripping hold of the lever, and as they say in levers, it's elbows. And there's just no chance that he's ever going to get that ball down.
I don't think you're going to compete with Leslie Vaynerchuk for strength, so the optimum thing to stop him doing is putting the ball down, and all they did was just grip hold of the ball.
Well, the tackle count will continue because Leslie Vaynerchuk deemed rightly to have been held up over the line. Steve was right, though. All the Leeds defenders were offside, but they're still there, Bradford. And that's tackle number 3.
Now hold.
Sensational defence from Leeds. Deacon have to stand up again in defence here. This is Harris. Tupi was on him in a flash.
Hold here. Hold.
Deacon waits. The Bradford skipper comes down the short side with Langley. He gets the ball to Cook. And again, it's Maguire and Donald who muscle up in defence. Last one here for Bradford. Now it's with Justin Harris. Pass inside. This is Newton. Ball comes back, and Leeds have it. Here goes Scott Donald.
Look at how quick they turn attack into defence.
Hold.
Or defence into attack. You're right.
Yeah.
They always say that about St Helens, don't they, about the transition of how they cope with it. And the grey side, both, how many skillful players across the park, and it's great to watch this game tonight.
It is. It's a wonderful way to end this Millennium Magic weekend.
Well, we expected it, didn't we? These are 2 wonderful sides. And you can see that the message from Steve McNamara, the Bulls coach, is that tighten up that play the ball area, and they've done that. First and second markers. The second marker to stand. Oh, he's lost it.
Ali Lauatiti seemed to have lost the ball, but Jamie Langley was hanging around the scene for quite some time.
Bradford had him free.
Well, I don't think he's got any fingertip to it. He may have the elbow on the football. That's sufficient.
I think it's just before that where he loses control, tries to offload it, Ali Lauatiti, and perhaps the wrong decision.
Hold. Out.
Deacon from the base of the scrum to Harris. Here is James Evans. 27 minutes gone, 14-12, Bradford ahead.
Will they do the short blind? No, they come on the open. Going back to basics of the Bulls.
Look at that, great play of the ball. Found his elbows and knees. What a big lad he is, Sam Burgess.
Good hands, Solomona. Rob Burrow with a very good tackle on the big man. This is Henderson. Burrow was a bit high then. Solomona. This is Deacon. Here's Harris. Now Langley.
Hey, back up! Hold, go!
Houston Harris again. Chip over the top. Oh, he's tackled in the air. Brent Webb, could have been a penalty. It's a 20-metre restart anyway.
Defuse of the bomb.
Yes, in the in-goal area.
Good positioning by the New Zealand full-back. Boy, this is fiery. The
It's fast,
speed,
isn't it?
yeah.
It's the fastest we've seen, I think.
Well, there were periods with St. Helens when they were just clicking yesterday that perhaps would match it. They were superb at times, and these two sides have emulated that with a little bit extra.
Burrow, infield it goes. And that was Carl Ablett. The ball is ferried out to Senior. And Lee Smith was clattered by Evans. Here's Maguire again. Dabs the kick over the top. Retreating is the full-back. Oops, a daisy. That could have been very dangerous. Platt was given a shove in the back there by Danny Maguire.
That's the big thing I think Leeds are going to lose with Kevin Sinfield operating at hooker. That midfield kicking responsibility is on Rob Burrow and Danny Maguire, and personally I think the responsibility of that could burden them.
And I tell you what, Michael Platt has been hurt in that shove in the back from Danny Maguire.
Well, surely that should have been a penalty.
Hold.
The ball has gone dead. You just can't do that sort of thing when man's not in possession of the football. Again, the offload.
Get away with it. This is Houston Harris. It's Ablett and Jamie Jones Buchanan around him. He's still getting it going, and he's managed to offload it again. This is Solomona. Tackled by Sinfield. Solomona felt that. He gingerly played the ball. This is Deacon. Good hands. Cook to Deacon. And Deacon then to Nathan McAvoy. And McAvoy infield to Cook, who's dropped it. Well, they're asking for 6 to go, Bradford.
It was reefed.
It was stolen, and it was a 2-on-1. It should be a penalty for Bradford, this.
And they've missed it, of the officials.
Hang on.
Referee has had a word in his ear from somewhere.
Have a little talk to the touch judge, and I think you might find that you're right, Eddie. Bradford may get the penalty.
Bradford lost the ball.
2-on-1.
It's a 1-on-1 still. Bradford heading free.
Well, has he left him? I think it's 1-on-1. He's left
I
him.
was just going to say, is that not one-on-one, Matt?
Well, it used to be, Barry, that if there were 2 men involved in the tackle, even if they peel away, it's designed or designated as a 2-on-1 steal. Anyway, as it turns out, it's the knock-on by Leeds, and Bradford will get the head and feed.
Okay. Come on, Paul, get it
Wow.
in.
Deacon just got kicked on the right hand there. He got a right.
Well, David Watkins was talking on Friday in the match that we had at Bridgend about the passive scrums in rugby league, and he said that they're not
wasn't
very
passive.
popular down here, but that was not passive. Deacon fires a long ball, picked up on the half, followed by Solomona.
High shot from Senior, got away with it.
James Evans. Well, the speed of the defensive line, Sam Burgess had nowhere to go then.
All the short on that short blind side.
This is Henderson again, another man slips to the deck. Langley and Harris. On the charge is Matt Cook. Good defence again. Warren Sinfield, last one. Harris will hoist the kick wide. Solomona is too big for Burrow. The ball comes free. It's play on. Evans, Vinokola!
He's got it. He'll go to the screen, but he's got it.
Knock on and touch.
The big
Wants to check
fella.
whether there was a knock on there, Steve-O.
He lunged into the corner. Nothing wrong with the grounding before he hits the flag or the whitewash. Is this a knock on? That went backwards. Still going backwards as far as I'm concerned. We'll see better from this angle. Yeah, he's forced the ball backwards there. It hasn't hit the deck yet. And the ball is being propelled backwards. That's play on. That's wonderful work from Solomona. And Evans did ever so well. Round the corner, and watch the finish from a huge man. A very huge man indeed. And this is the finesse of a ballet dancer. TRY, folks.
David Solomona released that ball and flicked it back with his fingers.
Incredible.
I must admit, Steve, he's the biggest belly dancer I've ever seen.
Try to Leslie Vinacolo. 10 for the campaign so far. He was 28 on Friday. He now has 141 tries. This is his 145th appearance for the Bradford Bulls. And looks as though he's on his way to rugby union to be replaced by Tami Tupu. Bradford, despite the fact they've got a star with Tupu, Bradford and the game of rugby league will miss Big Les.
Oh, without a doubt. Rugby union are getting a great player, that is for sure. I related to him as being a bungalow on wheels. He's that big and he's that strong. And there's quite a few of the Bradford fans speculating he could be away at the end of this month.
What a kick from Deacon. What a kick from the touchline from Paul Deacon. And Bradford lead by 20 points to 12. Well, the game of rugby league might miss Leslie Vinacolo. The Leeds Rhinos won't, because this is Leslie's 15th try that he scored against them.
Well, there was Deakin. Looks at the hand and say, yeah, you've probably broken a couple of fingers. Only one, he points. Turns to the referee. Either way, it was a controversial decision. Here's the kick into the corner. Solomona did ever so well. Tried to flick it first time, went back. What a dive. What skill. And what a great man. If you ever get a chance to talk to this fella, don't upset him, but have a little chat with him. He is a real character, a wonderful gentleman.
Steve Ganson, the referee, has just called the two captains together, Paul Deacon and Kevin Sinfield, and has asked that the captains take control of their team here, because he is being asked on every occasion by members of the two teams to check with the video referee just about every contentious incident. And Mr. Ganson has said he wants to control the game, and with help from the captains it will be a lot better. So he's asked them to tell their players just to keep it shut for a bit. This is Lynch.
Wait.
6 minutes to half time. Bradford ahead, 20 points to 12. Deacon, a dab over the top. Oh, how? No, he said it's a knock on against Harris.
I think he had.
Okay, mate.
Got squeezed in the sandwich.
Yeah,
there's a knock on. It's so inventive, aren't they? The two half-backs combining.
There's trouble for Ali Lauatiti right on the centre spot. He's got a bandage on that right leg, and it looks like it's further damaged. Is it the knee?
Well, there was always going to be a doubt about the fella, wasn't it? It was only because other people have been pulled out. I think that Tony Smith has had to take the gamble.
But he's missed the last three.
Barry McDermott, you probably may know a little bit more than us. You're connected with the club.
Ali Lauatiti's been struggling for a couple of weeks, and that's the difference between rugby league players and lots of other sports. You're asked to do your job, and you've got to be tough about it. Watching the Warrington-Salford game before, I was really impressed with the fullback, who had 10 stitches in the biggest gash you've ever seen over the top of his head. There was no bandage, nothing. Just got on, played on.
Hold the scrum. Wait.
It looks like Ali Lauatiti won't be playing on here.
Tighten.
It's head and feed at the scrum to Leeds. They get possession with Gareth Ellis. Let's go down to Bill.
Eddie, you might notice the Bradford Bulls players all wearing black armbands, and it's a big effort from Sam Burgess out there, and by his brother Luke yesterday for Harlequins, because Father Mark died just last week, in actual fact, after a long illness. So the brothers are out there in action, and I'm sure Sam's very definitely going to dedicate a victory, if it's a victory for the Bulls, to his late father.
Sinfield on the dart through.
Now hold, mate. Go.
Yes, our sympathies to the Burgess family. Kirk gets the ball back to Rob Burrow for the Rhinos. He's scragged by Lynch and Langley. Last one inside the last 5 here of the final match, the last 5 minutes of the first half of the final match. Platt is after that, and he is tackled by Brent Webb over the dead ball line.
He's struggling a little bit as well as Michael Platt.
But it comes about after that push in the back he got from Danny Maguire. He had to leap over the top of the advertising hoardings.
Not only that, he would have landed on the concrete as well.
You can do it here now, you've got loads of time, Sam.
Obviously struggling, isn't he, the full-back? 14 tries for the season now, level with Paul Wellens. You know, we're in Wales, and when these two sides met at Wembley in the 1947 Challenge Cup final, it was the greatest Welsh representation ever in the final. 13 of the 26 players that day were Welshmen, 8 for Leeds, and the Lance Trophy went to one of the Bradford Welshmen, Willie Davis. Great connections with the Principality in these two clubs then. This is Maguire. Kirk. Halted.
Going to start utilising a little bit more of the dummy runners. Leeds, they're doing switching the ball back on the inside, but there's no real second phase, no real concern for the Bradford defence as yet.
Sinfield gets it to Webb. Webb gets away from two. Flicks the ball back. It's Keith Senior. Senior with the strength to get over the top of Evans. The referee hasn't given it yet. He wants to check the knock on again. But Keith Senior showed incredible strength then to get over the top of James Evans, his opposite number in the centres.
Webb did ever so well, didn't he? He gets rid of the football. No knock on, it's off the boot.
Just watch this strength now.
This is try time. Thank you very much indeed. They're back in this game with a vengeance. But Brent Webb did ever so well.
I think it was the movement around the dummy half from Kevin Sinfield, and whenever Kevin's got the ball in his hand, he's asking questions of the defence. Things are going to happen for Leeds.
Trying for Keith Senior. Wants to erase memories of his previous two visits to this stadium. He lost in the Cup to the Bradford Bulls in 2003, and he limped out in the 2005 final against Hull at half-time. He has a remarkable scoring record in the game, and he's just come up with a great effort here.
None more so than the fullback Brent Webb, and it all came about with very quick thinking at the dummy half from Danny Maguire and the upper body strength. That's the reason why they work very hard on the fitness and of course the weights. It can be the advantage. 6-degree angle.
Sinfield just pops the ball over the top of the crossbar. 20 points to 18 then.
That is a great boost for the Rhinos. They definitely needed it. One of their talisman being left and lifted away from the field of play in La Titi. And that man there has given the Rhinos some hope. It's wonderful to go into half-time with a try under your belt. It leaves a lot of doubt psychologically in the opposition.
Jamie Jones-Buchanan was missed, got up and played on. Here is Thackeray. Oh, it's been pinched by Henderson. Henderson's pinched it, and has he pinched a four-pointer? Another decision for the video referee, Ashley Klein. He's the busiest video referee we've had all weekend, Ashley Klein. And Henderson believes he scored.
Now then, has he joined in? Has he pinched the ball before Sam Burgess joins the action? He has. The ball has gone before Burgess has contact with Thackeray. And what a substitute this fella is becoming for Steve McNamara and the Bradford Bulls. Ian Henderson. If you want a guy to take your meters from the dummy half, if you want a guy to give everything he's got, you have to see whether the ball has been taken away before Burgess, and it has. This will be TRY time. Boy, these two teams are giving us a splendid game, aren't they? Confirmation.
Ashley Klein's decision is a try for Bradford, and Jamie Thackeray has had his pocket picked by Ian Henderson.
Isn't that an amazing piece of skill to have the presence of mind of going in to tackle Jamie Thackeray in full flight, and to concentrate and looking at the ball and stealing the ball and then going off to score the try?
He didn't go in full pelt. And forwards have to realise, I say it so many times, when forwards go into the man that are coming to tackle them, why do they use the ball carrying arm? It makes it easy for the guy to rip away.
Jamie Thacker is one of those players that's his tool, that's what he uses. When he goes into the tackle, you'll see him, he'll bounce players off, he'll step back and he'll go again.
We've just seen the 7th try of an amazing first half. And Deacon adds the extras for Bradford, who now lead 26 points to 18. Well, it's a fantastic first half of this last match of Millennium Magic. The crowds have been royally entertained all weekend. Over the 2 days, we've had almost 59,000 people inside this stadium. It is an unqualified success. It's something that the Rugby Football League will build on, I'm sure. And at half-time, we will hear from the game's chief operating officer, Nigel Ward. He is the man who is credited with having the brainchild this Millennium Magic weekend. And we'll hear from Nigel during the half-time break.
Michael Platt had to be very brave then. He sprinted almost 15-20 yards to catch that ball.
Justin Harris dumps the ball out of play. That will do, he says. The Bradford Bulls are ahead by 26 points to 18. What a half. Without doubt the best 40 minutes that we have seen from the two teams who came to Cardiff sitting at the top of the Super League table. 2-0 with the kick from Deacon early, then Platt with 2, Vinacolo and Henderson right on the bell. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Brent Webb and Keith Senior in response for Leeds. But it's the Bradford Bulls who are ahead by 26 points to 18. Ali Lauatiti looks like he has got a chance of playing on in the second half, despite the fact that he left the field with real problems. Here's Jamie Thackeray, who had the ball stolen from him right on the bell of this, the end of the first half. And Bradford got the try by which they lead 26-18 as we start the second 40 minutes.
Well, the Rhinos really have to just be very patient indeed. They've got to try to get good field position. The kicking game in the first half was okay. Not brilliant, but it was okay. And I'm sure that Tony Smith, their coach, would be saying we've got to get at least over the halfway line before we get boot to ball.
Burrow. Enveloped by Burgess and Cook. Sinfield on the last, big hoof downfield. And Platt looks injured, and that ball will stay in the field of play. Back he comes, Michael Platt.
He's such a tall fullback, isn't he? He often gets caught high and launches just like swings around like a pub sign. But what a season he's had so far.
Just thinking about Tony Smith and the Great Britain coach, with the likes of Michael Platt and Paul Wellens in such great form this year. And there's one or two other candidates that I'm sure a lot of people can think of. Reardon, for instance. You know, he's got an embarrassment of riches at fullback, Tony Smith, and for Great Britain, hasn't he?
Well, I think he's developing that way. It's been a struggle for several years, in as much that we can apply competition in all positions. That's what we've got to aim for. Not just have 1 or 2 to select from, but have 4 or 5 vying to be selected.
Scott Donald will run this back for the Leeds Rhinos, and it was a good job that Henderson was there to bring him down. Bill on the sideline.
Eddie, it does look as though Ali Lauatiti might make a miraculous recovery to take a further part in this game. As you said, he did hobble off the field in the first half, and his right knee is heavily strapped. It was obviously a recurrence of that problem, but whatever they've done, the injury has eased, and he's been out just having a jog him down the sideline, so he might yet have a contribution to make in this game. And Michael Platt, who we saw hobbling for the Bulls in the first half after he went over the advertising horn, he's picked up a bang on the heel, but he's run that off as well.
It's a great ball from Tupi. And that's Scott Donald, and here is Brent Webb again for the Rhinos. Second try for Brent Webb. Leeds Rhinos strike first. The start of this second half. 11 tries for the season now, Brent Webb. We're talking about great fullbacks for Great Britain. This is a great fullback from New Zealand. Brent Webb. That's 7 tries for him now in his last 4 games.
Right across from one side of the field to the other, and they were catching this Bradford sliding defence. See how they hesitated. Tupi's pass was superb. Too much pace. Donald tremendous experience. Just made sure that he made the fullback flat, dipped the head. As soon as he comes to him, that's it. Releases the Kiwi. Game on. What a match.
Well, it's rich in entertainment, isn't it? The tries that we're seeing here tonight in this last match are right out of the top drawer. Sinfield faultless with the boot and remains so. 26 points to 24 points galore in this final match of Millennium Magic. Ali Lauatiti wants to come back.
There you see, there's a gap between the winger and the centre, Ben Harris. It's sufficient enough for Tupi to drag the man across, and soon as the winger dipped in, McAvoy. Great stuff.
That's Brent Webb's real strength. He patrols that middle channel and just backs up, and you know, playing in a side like Leeds who've got great skill and terrific offloads, and Clinton Tupi there, that pass was just sublime.
This is Thackeray now. Oh, he has lost the ball. He has lost the ball again, and he looks at the referee, claiming that it was stolen from him. And someone's back-chatted Mr. Ganson now. I think it's Brent Webb. He pointed a finger.
Yeah, thanks for the compliments. I'm having a great game. Yeah, off you go.
Well,
you know, if there's one negative about this fella, Brent Webb, superb player, no doubt about it. Lost control.
Did he try to reef that though?
Again, I'll make the point.
Brent Webb's in the sin bin. He's carried the conversation on with Steve Ganson, and he's having no more of it.
Silly, silly. He can get excited. We've seen him, even playing for New Zealand. He loses the plot. It's no good shaking your head.
No, they've let themselves down there. There was only 3 penalties given away in the whole first 40 minutes, and there's 2 in the first 5 now.
Was that stolen as well? It was. It's another penalty going against Leeds.
Tony Smith.
Count is 5-0 in Bradford's favour.
Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, got to get a message out. Hey, come on, fellas.
And here they come again. That's Matt Cook, Bradford Bulls. Chance here for Deacon, halted though by the tackle from Gareth Ellis. There's Ian Henderson. Henderson's short ball. A real ambush there.
Will Henderson smuggle through? Will he go low underneath?
No, well, he might do. He's gone round 360 degrees. Hole's opened up for him. And Scott Donald did enough. Scott Donald did enough in defence to put Matt Cook off.
A lot of the fans claiming perhaps Donald took the man without the ball, but it was 50-50, and that's sufficient. Boy, this is turning into a triathlon. We've had so many tries in this game. Steve McNamara wasn't too impressed with the play on, but I think the officials got it spot on.
Brent Webb is spending his 4th period in the sin bin of the season. He was sin binned at Odsal over Easter against Bradford, and he's been sin binned twice against Huddersfield. And now Jamie Jones-Buchanan is unhappy with the decision from the referee.
And again, I make the point that the official has told the captains, I'm having no more of this.
Well, that's why Webb's in the sin bin.
And look at that. Is that going to help your side? No, it won't. Calm down, fellas.
Your responsibility, hold on the ball, mate.
Both of these teams have great shape off the ball, don't they? And this just, as we always say, the wingers hugging the touchline and make the gaps open up in the middle.
Hold.
And people like Solomona and people like, they want to exploit the gaps and they want to take the ball and you look at him, apart from that, says always looking to promote the ball.
Solomona's being pushed back by Leeds defence. He plays the ball to Henderson. Here is Sam Burgess. Whoa, big hit by Luluai and Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Henderson again.
They're going the shortest route, Bradford. They know they've got perhaps the power in the forwards. It may not be showing much finesse at the moment, but they realise good field position. They've got the man out there. Paul Deacon with a little kick when they need it.
That was a good ball to Joe Vangenaar. He keeps the legs pumping. Pulled down in the end by Ian Kirk. Here's Deacon again. Now it's with Harris. Wide they go. And namesake Ben Harris for Bradford. They shifted it wide, and Ben Harris, who started this year in the second row against the Catalan Dragons, but has been in the centres ever since. He comes up with his third try of the season, and he edges Bradford further ahead. It is now 30 points to 24, and Ben Harris, the latest try scorer in this festival of tries that we're seeing between the Bulls and the Rhinos.
Simple basics. Forwards got them into this position. We spoke about the dummy runners, and the final pass from Justin Harris was superb, the centre Ben Harris. But the build-up to it was a key. No doubt about it. The hard work from the forwards. Remember the big rush from Joe Vangenaar.
Difficult kick for Paul Deacon, this. But Deacon, he strikes the ball so well. We've got two of the best goal kickers on show here tonight, in Deacon and Sinfield. Deacon threw 2,000 points for Bradford in his career, the first man in the history of the club to achieve that milestone. And Brent Webb kicking his heels in the sin bin.
An easy 12 metres forward, and when I clear it, you'll see that it's still going.
Vangenaar to trundle it back again for Bradford. There's the try scorer, the latest one anyway. Nowhere for McAvoy to go then. Gareth Ellis was hunting. There's Henderson, misses out one, finds Deacon. Here's Solomona. Solomona's on the charge. That's good defence though from Burrow and Senior.
What a remarkable game this is. Neither one of the two teams on shore wants to give up the contest.
Evans for Bradford. Well, there's local bragging rights as well as the leadership of the Engage Super League at the midway point of this quite remarkable season.
We talked about it yesterday, the Wigan Saints game. There's something extra in those games, and it means a little bit more.
Deacon again. Gets it wide to James Evans. Here is Leslie Vanacolo, but that was a forward pass.
That'll be the turnover. The eagerness of these two sides to, no doubt about it, trying to make sure that they'd bring into play the momentum rule. No way. But the eagerness of these two sides, they just want to get on with it. You'd think, because it's been energy sapping throughout this weekend. The turf has made sure of that.
Ian Kirk will drive it forward. Burgess and Cook. The other feature of this weekend, Steve, has been the young players who we have seen for all 12 Super League clubs, and we've got another wonderful assortment of them on show here tonight. Ellis, quite a bit of experience there.
I think with the kids, gents, what you've got to do is you've got to let them play, and they've got to get big match experience. And I keep going on about the overseas players. We don't need too many overseas players. Blood those kids, get some experience into them, and let's watch them play.
I hope from a British point of view that Tony Smith looks at the test that we're playing against the French and bloods a lot of these youngsters and rewards them for the great work they've done this year.
I think they will, Terry.
That's Leeds' first penalty of the match. We've been playing 52 minutes. They've conceded plenty. This is Carl Ablett. This is his first Super League chance of the year. He's only 21.
It's important now that Leeds keep camp down there. Remember, Brent Webb in the sin bin. Down to 12. So they've got to camp down here and keep the clock ticking away.
Sinfield to Maguire. On the drive was Kirk, and he was halted by a robust challenge from Matt Cook. Sinfield again. Gareth Ellis. Rob Burrow goes around Solomona, who slips, and Burrow, low centre of gravity. No problems for him on this surface. And Tony Smith watches on as Rob Burrow scampers past David Solomona and over the line for a try. Well, how many points are we going to see before this game is over? How many tries are we going to see before this
incredible. We mentioned the fact that if you got them off balance, see how they slip on this turf, and you will pay the price. And little Beep Beep has put Rhinos back in the game. There's one slip. There was another one to the left-hand side. He didn't mind.
Okay, mate, yeah.
Outstanding. Don't take a breath.
Rob Burrow on his 55th consecutive appearance. The latest try, and Sinfield, academic really, he adds the extras easily. 32-30. A lot of people don't like these high-scoring affairs. They prefer, you know, a defence-dominated 10-8 or 6-4, but this is fantastic to watch, isn't it?
Adds to the excitement, doesn't it? The excitement of the day, the excitement of the weekend. A great play there by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. The players, the Bradford players slipped over there, and that's because the dummy runners running through for Leeds pulled them all in and gave Rob Burrow that chance in the space on the outside.
So the gap is only 2 points again. Here comes Jamie Jones-Buchanan once more. Feeds the ball wide to Scott Donald.
He's had one of his best games, Scott Donald.
Oh, wonderful offload by Tupi. Oh, and that wasn't the best, but on the bounce it finds its way to Ellis.
You know, people will be looking at the scoreline, 32-30, and thinking, oh, it's a bit of a touch and pass job, this, isn't it? I can assure you it isn't. There's been some huge hits.
Luluai plays the ball to Sinfield, kicking early in the tackle count. Platt picks it up eventually. The other thing I've noticed, we've been talking about the pitch all weekend really, and the fact David Solomona is off the field for Bradford at the moment, you've just seen. We've been talking about the players slipping inside. The way this ball bounces on this field as well is totally different to anything we've seen in Super League grounds.
Well, Alan Bateman made it quite clear, didn't it, that underneath this surface there's a special process which it's like concrete. So there's virtually no give, the big fella's away.
He was looking for a penalty there, but didn't come. Brent Webb is back out and leads back to the full complement of 13 as Harris stabs the ball to the in-goal area. Webb is after this. He's trapped in goal, though. That's a terrific chase. Fantastic chase. Dave Halley just on.
It was a great chase, and you get rewarded, don't you, for putting the pressure on. The last thing Leeds want to do is be giving field position away, territory away to Bradford. With all the skillful players Bradford have got, they don't want to defend their own line, and especially now this drop kick, they don't want it going anywhere to near Joe Wagner, or they don't want it going anywhere near to Sam Burgess.
Another amazing thing about this, Eddie, there's been very few bombs in this game. All the kicking has been onto the ground most of the time, and I think that's important. I think they've worked it out, especially these two coaches, that if you... Oh, that's a great
kick from Sinfield. Halley did his best. He couldn't stop it going out, though.
Pinpoint perfect now.
And what it means is that Leeds will get the head and feet at the scrum here. He keeps it in there, but the ball does actually then bounce its way over the line.
Sign of a confident player when he even goes and attempts to kick a ball like that, isn't it?
Great effort from Halley, but a wonderful kick from Sinfield.
Is it ever? But I mean, you'd have been a bit upset, wouldn't you? I mean, that was a backspin on that.
Ellis, so he was nearly through.
Listen to the crowd as well. They're chanting the Rhinos. Great atmosphere. Everyone here is enjoying it.
Burrow.
Do you know what, Barry? You said before the game about Kevin Sinfield, about it take a lot away from his game, his kicking game a lot. I think he's played outstanding at 9 today.
He has. He's a very skillful player, and don't get me wrong, I think Kevin and Kevin's done it all year. He's adjusted to whatever's been put in front of him.
There's a bomb from Brent Webb. Knocked forward that by Leeds. Picked up though by Michael Platt.
I've been impressed with Kevin, and I've been impressed with Rob Burrow. I think when he's got the ball in his hands, believe it or not, any big guy will tell you, people like Joe Wagner and Sam Burgess would rather tackle another big guy than Rob Burrow. His agility and the way he jinks and moves, and many times you're chasing shadows when you're trying to tackle Rob Burrow.
Newton has returned. This is Langley.
To be fair, I don't think there's a poor player that's been out in this paddock in this game.
All the players all weekend, they've given everything, haven't they? They've bought into the spirit of the weekend, and they give us great entertainment.
They have. They're here to that.
That's what derbies bring you, though, isn't it, Steve?
Yep.
Halley.
And they've not let us down. Oh, good offload from the youngster.
This is McAvoy. Nathan McAvoy back at Bradford. He had one game with the Leeds Rhinos in 2006. He spent the most of the year at Wigan. Great kick wide by Deacon. Evans is after it, but well claimed. That's Lee Smith underneath that crossfield kick.
Wow.
20 years of age. There's another one. Lee Smith. There's another one with a big future for Great Britain
What
and
a
England.
take. Messerschmitt's Spitfires were all coming at him.
Ellis.
Oh, just couldn't offload.
It was just the wrong side. That support player was just the wrong side, wasn't he?
Oh, Matt Cook did well then. He's distinguished himself today, Matt Cook, on this his first appearance of the season.
I think the speed's gone up another level, mate. I think in the last 5 or so minutes, they've just got a little bit quicker.
Sinfield humps it up the middle on the last.
The advantage of kicking the ball from dummy half, of course, is that all your chasers are onside.
Got 20 minutes to go and there's 2 points in it. The game's still anybody's, and still not the speed of the game's just surprised me how long they've kept it going for.
Well, Barry McDermott said he was waiting and looking forward to seeing Ryan Hall get his chance. He is on the field. Ryan Hall, 19 years of age, wearing number 25, playing on the wing.
A Leeds lad in it. It'll be one of the proudest moments, certainly, of his career, but a big future for Ryan Hall, a big, strong unit.
There he is. McAvoy gets a kick in of sorts.
He'll be furious, will he?
Lee Smith, that ball went back.
He'll be furious, Steve McNamara, the Bradford coach, over that. They've got tremendous kicker in Justin Harris and Paul Deacon. And you don't have to be trying to struggle way out on the touchline to put in a poor kick which came from Nathan McAvoy.
There's the first touch for Ryan Hall. Craig Kopchak is out there now, another youngster, 20 years of age. That ball is funneled out somehow. Sinfield, oh, interception! Justin Harris! He's being tracked by Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Jamie Thackeray. They got to him. Doesn't have the speed of a few years ago, but here's a great chance for Bradford. Down goes Ben Harris.
It didn't matter. He did not panic. The experience showed there from Justin Harris. He knew they were going to get them into the red attacking zone, and that is the important fact.
Here comes Michael Platt again, trying to skip his way through the defence. They're inside the 10-metre line. They've got 3 tackles remaining. This is Deacon, and he puts the ball to Kopchak. Goes down under the sticks. Terry Newton, a dummy half scheming short ball. Has he got that down?
Yes.
It's Andy Lynch. Andy Lynch scores for Bradford. Powered his way onto that pass. Well, he's back to his best, Andy Lynch. A big display here, and he's having it. Could easily put him in Tony Smith's Great Britain thoughts as well.
All came about by the intercept from Justin Harris. But any youngster out there watching, don't panic. Possession, it is vital. And from that position, beautiful flat pass. Allowed the big prop forward. Newton knew he was going to be steaming onto it. And a man who was so upset at missing out on the Tri-Nations last year, he's making his mark in front of the Great Britain coach, and of course his own coach and the assistant to the Great Britain coach, Tony Smith. Tremendous effort.
Well, this should be academic also for Deacon. 6 from 6 tonight. We've had 66 points in the match. We've now had 68 points in the match, and it's 38 to 30 in Bradford's favour.
been a fantastic game, hasn't it? Andy Lynch has been saying, Justin Harris raves about this player, saying that he's the player that you want in the team, that does all the little things well. And you watch him, he keeps on turning up, he keeps on getting bashed, and he still keeps on coming forward.
He's probably the same person or the same player as Jamie Jones, and every team needs a person like that who just gets on with his work and does the work that nobody else wants to do. Great player.
He's the same person, he's Andy Lynch.
The same player, I said.
Jordan Tansey with that kick-off. This is Kopchak. You know, I would love to know, and I don't suppose for 1 minute that anyone has kept a tally of the number of players in the 6 games we've seen who have slipped.
84.
It was, and it was somebody that was saying it in the bar last night, that the fact that the roof is over, it creates that condensation, and it makes the ball slip, it makes the surface slippy, but underneath the initial turf, it's quite hard, so it's difficult to wear studs.
Yes, we have been harping on about that actually from the first match we have seen.
You've surprised me there, Eddie.
And of course they don't get to warm up on this pitch here either.
No, it's out on the other pitch there. But are you trying to infer that there is some anorak out there that will actually have done that?
Someone will. Someone will.
Oh, great stuff.
That's a great chase. All the videotapes are available, of course, of all the matches. Someone will take a note of that stat and will tell us for boots and all.
Well, if I'm doing nothing tomorrow morning, I might even do that for you.
You've got the job, Steve-O.
Okay.
Our producer says you're on the task. It's your...
And you know, I look forward to it, because there really hasn't been a bad game. Okay, there's been a couple that's been one-way traffic at times.
Are you on boots and all this week with me? He is.
Sadly,
the boy,
sadly
Thursday
I'm not.
at 8. Thursday at 8. Sky Sports 3. Steve-O will tell us.
No, I'm not on.
You are.
No.
You are, and you are also working from now till then, counting the tackles.
Now, ladies.
Yourself into a job.
Now, ladies. Let's watch the rugby.
Penalty now to the Rhinos. Ball not played on the mark by Mr. Kopchak.
Oh, I think he's been a bit harsh there, hasn't he?
Well, Jamie Jones will get in the ruck.
I mean, what do we want to do? Just stamp all over him?
This is Ian Kirk.
It's not over yet. There's still plenty of time. And the way the skills from either side have been on show tonight, anything can happen.
Well, this whole weekend has had a real jamboree flavour about it, but what we shouldn't forget is that there are vital Super League points at stake here.
We're getting a bit carried away because the stadium that we're playing at, we don't realise that there's 2 points at stake. But I'm sure all these teams who are out there playing like they want to win know there's 2 vital points on offer.
We were talking about it, myself and Tez, and those teams that don't necessarily bank or expect to get to finals can come and book and have their day in the sun.
Well, Lee Smith should have got a penalty, and he has. Not once, not twice, but I think he got 3 for his corner. Frustration from the youngster.
So Leeds will come again here with Jamie Jones. Buchanan, that's a great run.
You see the determination on his face there.
Jordan Tansey flicks it back. Jamie Thackeray tackled by Langley, pushed back a little bit by Andy Lynch.
Robbie Burrow, first receiver.
Tansey.
No, he's gone white.
Maguire. Ellis gets the ball away. Attack forward by Webb.
Oh, it's a try.
Is he on the line, or has he scored his hat-trick try?
Surely he's got to look to see whether there's a knock-on or whether it went forward.
He's nodding.
He's asked for a knock-on decision. He's also asking to see whether the ball touched the line.
And does the ball carry an arm? I think that's forward.
I don't think it's a knock-on, and whether he gets it down in time, I think we'll see in a second.
He's releasing it, but that's forward.
Yeah,
it's a knock-on, I'm sorry to say.
We're not looking for a forward pass, let us say.
Oh, it's a knock-on. Hang on. He's lost possession. It's hit the ground, it's a knock-on, I'm sadly to say. He's had a fine game, though, as Ellis. He's worked hard.
Yeah, look at the awareness of him trying to offload the ball, and Brentwood putting himself in that position where he can take the pass. It's a great skill, that, you know.
He's just lost control, and it's a knock-on, sadly. It really would have been a nail-biting finish.
Well, hang on.
It can't be beyond belief that they're going to give this. I don't believe it.
We're looking at the grounding now.
That's all right.
That's okay. Give it to him.
I can't believe that they're going to give this.
Well, Ashley Klein is the video referee.
There's been some funny ones. The video referees haven't impressed me.
No try, say the Bull fans. What does Ashley Klein say? Try is given, benefit of the doubt.
I cannot believe it. If it leaves a man's hand and touches terra firma and it is going forward, it has to be a knock-on.
Well, obviously it was going backwards, Steve. Obviously it was going backwards.
It is a hat-trick for Brent Webb, who has had a mixed night in Cardiff. 38-34, this kick for 38-36. 38-36 it is. Running out of paper to keep tabs on this scoreline.
Well, it's set it up, hasn't it? Nervous times for everybody in the stadium. But how on earth this has been given is beyond me. That looks a knock-on. Great work from Brent Webb.
He does.
I don't think it went forward though, Steve. I think it's on line.
I don't think it did, but again, what about Brent Webb?
I didn't think it went forward.
Either way, it really has set it up, hasn't it?
It's been a dramatic game, this, and it's been tit for tat all the way through.
We mentioned the fact that the Rhinos still had time. They didn't panic. At least let's give credit to the loose forward, Gareth Ellis. He was looking to offload, he knew that. Now then, will it be some piece of magic from perhaps this little fella? He's worked overtime, hasn't he, Rob Barrow? He has his critics. A lot of people say that he's not tough enough. They're wrong, he is.
He's tough, all right, let me tell you.
He's like concrete.
That's the last tackle here for Leeds. The kick from Jordan Tansey is high and is behind Michael Platt. Again, it's not going to... Yes, it is. It's going to say it's not going to run dead for Michael Platt, but it is.
Do you know, going into the last 11 minutes, you'll see two teams that are full of skill, but they'll be nervous. No one's going to want to make that mistake that lets the other side win.
38-36. We have 11 minutes left for play here, and it's not a unique day as far as Leeds Rhinos are concerned, because in 2001, way back then, they were involved in the match against the Huddersfield Giants, where they won by 52 points to 46, and that remains the team, the game that has the highest points tally for a losing side. Well, we're getting close to it.
Just under 8 minutes and 74 points in this game. Just indicates the skill.
But people will say it indicates poor defence, but there hasn't been poor defence.
You've never worked that out yourself then, Steve, or did you?
I've got the hands to do it.
Keith Senior gets the ball away again. Here is Maguire. Tackled by McAvoy.
Had to be as well. They were a little bit loose on that blind side.
Burrow waits. This is Ellis.
You just get the feeling throughout this game that as it gets closer and closer to the final hooter, that it's going to be something very special.
You might see it here from Keith Senior.
Oh, that's a flop. Or is he offside?
Jamie Langley is deemed to have been offside further back down the field.
Sinfield had dinked this into the corner. Yeah, never made any attempt to go back under the 10. He was out there on his own.
Well, it's been quite a weekend for all concerned, including our camera crew and all the crew in the trucks on Sky Sports. We've been with you all the way through the weekend, brought you 4 games, including the one on Friday night. We brought you 3 games of rugby league. Hope you've enjoyed it. We have. As I said at the top of the show today, it's been a marathon, but hugely enjoyable. This is Jordan Tansey again. That's a neat little kick. It's going to be shuttled over the top by Dave Halley.
Can I just ask you two both, has it been a tiring weekend? Because you both look a little bit tired to me. Maybe not getting enough sleep.
It's a mood. No, it's all about the brain cells. Psychologically, it's very difficult. I sometimes look around and I think perhaps it might be the people that I work with.
You just seem a little bit tired to me, perhaps. Like I say, not getting enough sleep, maybe getting up too early.
No, we were fine. We were all in bed early last night. Rob Burrow believes that Leeds can win this, and with only 2 points and the goal line dropout coming up from Bradford,
he's taking a lot of responsibility, you know, as Rob Burrow.
Webb gives it to Ian Kirk.
He's been marshalling the troops, putting them in there.
The hits are as fierce now as they were 72 minutes ago.
And you'll see the little fella, Burrow, taking the first receiver again. He's created all sorts of problems for them. There's his partner in crime, Maguire.
Just slipping there. Thackeray, Sinfield, back it comes. Here is Ian Kirk. The Rhinos have been behind since the 24th minute of this match, and they're looking to win it here with Sinfield. Dabs the ball to the in-goal area again. They're going to get another set of 6.
That's what the coach wanted, apart from the try, of course. But to apply the pressure, that is ever so important. That was great thinking from Sinfield. Full credit, they got back in numbers. It's ticking away, but not fast enough as far as Bradford are concerned. They can't get possession, they can't get field position. Leeds have them on the rack.
Here comes yet another set of 6 at this Bradford defence, and Jamie Thackeray will run it back for the Rhinos. Skirts around a couple, makes good meters forward, halted by Lynch and Newton. Leeds very much want to be involved in this. Every player here is hunting and shouting and wanting the pass, wanting to be the hero. Tansey finds Burrow. He gives it to Maguire. Comes back up the middle. It goes to Sinfield. Sinfield will take them on. Looking to offload. Doesn't. 3 tackles gone. Burrow again. Scampering little run from Rob Burrow.
Oh, he nearly got through. Newton just hammered him to the ground.
Chances here for Ellis. Pops the ball back. Knock on. 6 to go. Surely he hasn't wiped the tackle count down though, Mr. Ganson.
No, he said play on.
Last tackle. Surely Bradford got a hand to that.
Into the in-goal area again. Oh, is that obstruction?
Tansey just slipped again. There's another one for your count, Steve-O.
That's a great defensive effort by Bradford, defending the line 3 times there. But the wrestle of the tackle takes so much out of you.
Fair play to Steve Ganson. That was off Rob Burrow. It wasn't off Nathan McAvoy. It looked like it from here at this angle, but the referee far closer to the action than us. Solomona.
You know, we've paid tribute to everybody concerned about this, but I think that we have to pay a little bit of tribute as well to the officials. They've been excellent. All right, there's been a couple of decisions, more so from the video referee over the 2 days, but I think the standard has been absolutely superb.
I heard a comment from Daniel Anderson, the St Helens coach, yesterday. I don't think he would agree with you, Steve-O.
I'm not a coach.
No, that's his view.
Of course, we all have them. Great kick.
Good kick from Justin Harris. Just relieves the pressure a little. Leeds are very quick here getting to the scrum. Want the referee to call time off, which he does.
Bradford aren't going to rush to get to this scrum, Eddie. You can see them all, Terry Newton, David Solomona just walking up there, taking the time, because as I said, they've defended a lot there, and it's took a lot of energy out of them.
Come on. After watching this guy throughout this game, I just get the impression, and Barry, you know him inside out. He's a captain of the future, isn't he?
I think so. I think Rob Burrow leads with his actions rather than his words, and he just inspires you. The guy tackles maybe 4 or sometimes 5 stone above his weight and just gets right back up every single time. You look at his boat race there, he's copped a few over the game, but it won't bother him. He just wants the points, and so does every player on this pitch today. It's so important to them.
Here's Burrow again now. 2 points in it, 5 minutes to go. A nail-biter to end Millennium Magic. Leeds in possession with Maguire. Gets the short ball away again. Good defence once more from the Bradford Bulls. Vanganar's out on his feet. Tansey, it's Maguire. Oh, off the shoulder of Ellis.
No advantage.
Bring them back here, it's the turnover.
The idea was good. And Ellis was quick to turn around and say to Maguire, I was going to be the dummy runner. It should have gone behind me. It's little incidents like that can just turn the tables.
Exactly, I was just going to say that. This game deserves to be won by a hero, not lost by somebody's tiredness or fatigue. The players have put absolutely everything in.
Whoa! A loose pass from Terry Newton after he hit the deck. Remember what happened at Odsal over Easter. Leeds stole the game with a try in the last minute. They did it also last July. This isn't over yet. There are 4 Millennium Magic minutes left, and they could be the most dramatic of the weekend. Quick hands. Here goes James Evans. Terry Newton's in support with him. James Evans comes back inside, gives it to Big Leslie. He bounces off Scott Donald, dumps the ball back. Evans is there, pulled down by Sinfield. Fabulous play from these two sides. Justin Harris goes wide. A dab over the top from Michael Platt. It's play on. Platt gets the hat-trick, and Platt probably will win it. He wants to check the knock-on. He said play on. Michael Platt went on with it, plonked the ball down. Steve Ganson wants Ashley Klein to check whether it's a knock-on or not. There's a knock-on by, well, it's a charge down.
Charge down, it's play on.
Oh, just a minute. Just a minute.
Does he get a hand to it? We'll see it clear in the close-up. There's the charge down. Does it come off the chest or does it come off the arms? I think they'll give the benefit of the doubt. They've done that a couple of times during this game. Does the ball plays the arm and it's dragged away? I think they're going to give this, Eddie. I think this will be play on.
He's got to try and catch it, Steve, but it's just come off his forearm there. Whether that's construed as a knock-on.
It certainly hits the chest. What is going to be the decision?
Ashley Klein with a big decision, maybe the biggest of the weekend. No try. Scrum defence. Steve McNamara was celebrating. Michael Platt thought he'd got the hat-trick. Bradford thought they'd got the victory.
Time off.
Not given.
The Leeds players,
charge down.
The Leeds players to me look like they've got more energy. They absolutely sprinted to that scrum down then.
That shows what a classy side Bradford are, under pressure, defending their own line, and then coming up with a big play and getting on the outside of Leeds and nearly scoring.
Well, has this Millennium Magic weekend got a final twist in the tail in the last 3 minutes of this jamboree?
They've got the speed of Leeds to attack from deep within their own half.
And nearly
got through.
Oh, it was off the fingertips of Maguire.
That could have been it.
Have it back. This is Matt Cook.
That could have been the moment.
No, Sam Burgess, apologise.
They'll be doing nothing fancy, Bradford. They will be trying to do what Leeds have done over the past 10 minutes, and that is control the possession. And this is where cool heads are to be needed, and that's not too cool. They've got away with it.
Oh, that's terrific play from Ben Harris. Justin Harris, Terry Newton. Here is Matt Cook. Wrestled to the ground by Lee Smith. Terry Newton again. Big Joe rumbles into the picture. Big Joe Vanganar still going. Into the last 2 minutes. Newton finds Justin Harris. They want it kicked wide. They're looking for Big Leslie. They found Big Leslie, but did James Evans get a fingertip to that? Has Leslie Barnacolo got his second try, or has James Evans flicked it with his fingertips? He has!
It's a knock-on. It is a knock-on from Evans. But has it gone backwards? Remember, we go back to the Ellis situations. Is that going backwards?
I don't think you can possibly say it's going backwards.
Well, I thought you couldn't say that for the pass from Ellis. I thought it was a knock-on. He's gone in. Look, the ball is being tipped. Watch his hand. Watch his body. He's going forward. Oh, who would want to be a video referee in the last vital moments? His knees will be trembling. Ashley Klein, the Australian, will be shaking like a leaf. And what will he come up with?
The 8th video referee decision of the night goes against the Bradford Bulls again. And we have the tension continuing to the very last second. It had to be a knock-on. 1.5 minutes remaining. Leeds can still win this. Here's Ellis again.
What a battle royal. You know,
Classic
year
stuff.
in, year out, these derby games, they just produce quality, skill.
And people have the temerity,
Toughness.
Steve, to say that they're losing their appeal. They talk nonsense, some of them. Burrow, short ball, Ellis. That's probably the match. That's probably the match for Bradford.
They had to force it.
It's a penalty. Offside against Justin Harris, was it?
2 men. He's offside.
But was it deliberate? Either way, Leeds would have got possession at the scrum base, but this is not deliberate. No, it's not. It's not, you know, it comes off the boot of the Leeds
off
player.
the boot of the Leeds player. He's got it wrong.
He has got it very wrong indeed, and they will go for the 2 points. And remember,
Well,
not so long ago at this particular stadium,
Kevin Sinfield spurned the chance of going for 2 that would have tied up a Challenge Cup final.
they won't spurn the chance tonight.
Isn't there a case, though, here for the video referee to tell Steve Ganson
Of
to
course.
overrule?
He's got
Because
it, he's
it's
got
not
it
a
wrong.
penalty.
I know it's not.
It comes back to that old thing we keep arguing about the guy in the stand. I agree, he shouldn't be in constant contact with him, but for things like that, when it's obvious to us.
Well, it's obvious to everyone in the stadium. Listen to the pandemonium that's going on all around us. We've seen it on the replay. They've seen it on the big screen. This to get Leeds a point. Kevin Sinfield. Sinfield hits the ball. Oh!
It's gone.
So goes. There's more controversy here.
The hook is gone.
Was the ball down or not? It was.
What a game.
Kevin Sinfield hit the bar, and Leeds were flooding forward. The siren sounded. Leeds scored the try. Steve Ganson's given the try. Well, Leeds have won it.
What a controversial end. The penalty should not have been given.
They're all
They got
offside,
there.
aren't they?
They've got to be in front of the kicker.
They're all offside.
As he goes through, there's 1 or 2. There are 2 in front. Who scores?
It's offside.
I think it's Donald.
Well, Steve Ganson has ended this
Back behind.
weekend
Ball.
with a nonsense, I'm sorry to say. They're offside. It should not have been allowed. It should not have been a penalty in the first place.
This, sadly, has turned into a farce. We did not want this. All the Leeds fans, they'll be excited. But this has cast a very bad shadow over what has been a magic weekend.
A wonderful match, a marvellous weekend, but a total, complete and utter mess from the officials at the end. Justin Harris is furious. He thanks his supporters for their support, but Kevin Sinfield has a huge smile on his face. He knows they've committed larceny of the grandest style. Leeds have won, it's all over. Leeds are top of the table, but, well, we're speechless. The Millennium Magic Weekend has ended strangely. Leeds have won, though.